Hey everybody in YouTube and everyone who is watching here live on Twitch. I wanted to say happy Christmas Eve. This video is scheduled to come out on December 24th as sort of our Christmas gifts to our viewers. Last year on Christmas we released a group tier list. However, I noticed with when we did our individual scenario tier list, it allowed us to not have to settle on where we thought characters should go. Not that one thing where like Travis is saying this rank, Brynn is saying this rank, so I have to put it somewhere in the middle. Now instead, we're going to be building our own tier lists. My hope anyway is that Brynn's video will come out tomorrow and Travis's the day after that. This tier list is my personal preference for what I view the strength of these investigators are. It's going to be skewed by how much I like to play them and my personal opinions on their power level. So it's going to be one of those things that I'll tell you right now, everyone's watching who's going to get very mad at me for this. You might think that a certain investigator or certain investigators belong somewhere on this list, but this is my own tier list. This is my own opinion for 2 and 3 player games, because I have not really played 1 or 4 player games, and how I view their power level when it comes to playing them. This includes setup time, and then also just the number of, if they can make the game kind of boring to play or broken to play, they're going to be up the higher tiers. But what if your opinion is wrong? Great question, Chain Dreamer. And that's totally normal. Wow. Crazy, huh? That opinions can be wrong. But it is true. All of this is just my thought on these investigators. And if you're like, for example, we're gonna get into fisticuffs over Diana Stanley YouTube, and you're gonna be like, no, Diana Stanley is A tier, A plus tier, S tier, and that's cool. That's cool. I don't think so, but this is my list, and I'm happy to hear any discourse that comes in the comments down below. One thing I like to do at the start of each tier list is choose the highest tier and the lowest tier. So let's just grab a few of our S tiers that are going to be pretty easy to slot. The competitors that haven't left this area in quite some time, joined as well by their newest friend, Stella Clark. So these, in my opinion, are the 3 strongest investigators in the game who need the least amount of work to get going, right? Rex Murphy's ability, even when tabooed, and I am looking at this as tabooed, says play a deduction every turn, which is crazy. I'm happy to play 1 deduction every few turns, and I'm like, this is going good. If I can use practice makes perfect to grab 4 deductions in total of a game, I'm like, that's enough tempo that I'm going to be ahead in this. And just doing that every turn with Rex is kind of wild. He does have this thing where he only has 4 book, so that is a little bit tough. However, once he gets going, Rex doesn't stop. Mandy is another one. She just breaks the game. Travis played a Mandy deck with 100 cards, and it's just, she's gross. Mandy is a gross investigator. She's just yucky. She's very powerful. She's very boring. YouTube does not like it when we play Mandy, but she is an S tier investigator. She can make anything work because her thing is just finding cards. Stella Clark would probably be A tier if she didn't have all the copies of Neither Rain Nor Snow that she does. As she is and as she's printed, Stella is just very strong. She's S tier. She's broken like these 3. I'm not going to worry too much about ordering this, but if I had to do it, I still think Rex is the strongest investigator in the game. Just because he doesn't need anything else to get going. You could argue, and maybe I'm even arguing with myself, that it's like one of these 2. But I do think that I like Rex power level a bit more than Mandy's. Just the tiniest bit. Now the question is there anyone else that joins the S tier, and I think there's only one other investigator that I think deserves S tier. Who do you think it is, chat? Who do you think deserves the other S tier? I'll give you a few seconds. Who as well, YouTube? Wendy? Probably Daisy? Nah. Gloria? Gloria is very good. Jacqueline? We have our winner. Jacqueline Fine, I think, is the other S tier. I think Jacqueline Fine is the last S tier. And I think I'm not going to have any other S tiers on my tier list. Because like Stella, she kind of just trivializes an aspect of the game. Wendy kind of also does this, but the thing is Wendy needs to spend resources for it. And of course these resources for Wendy aren't exactly hard to spend. Jacqueline just gets to do it every turn. She can do it for anybody. And then when she gets her personal asset out, it's 2 times a turn. She's very strong, and she's kind of busted. Other A tier so I think we need to go and start doing individually soon, but I need to grab my D tiers, right? I need to grab the ones that I think are the least powerful. Sorry, everyone. We know the joke. Lola. I don't think Lola is good. People have tried to... There's a lot of people who try to convince me that she is good. I don't see it yet. Maybe one day, because as the pool grows, she gets better. But the problem is, you can't make a plan for Lola. You can't really plan for Lola, because your plan can be upended, and then if you need to do something else, you have to switch your roles and you can't switch back. I just think Lola's not great. Rita. While I was thinking about this list last night when I was lying in bed daydreaming about making Arkham Horror content, I was thinking to myself that it would be very hard for me to put an investigator with a 5 in a stat lower than B tier. Even lower than A tier, because a 5 in a relevant stat is really good. Relevant stat being the key word here. I don't think evade is a relevant stat in this game. And a lot of people are going to say they think I undervalue Rita, and that is true. I haven't played her in a while, but I've theory crafted decks for her while I was preparing and building decks for campaigns to play on the channel. And every time, I just look at this deck and I think, nah, this looks really boring and not at all the power level I want to be playing at. She probably is more of a C when I think about it, but I think Lola needs some help down in the D tier. The thing is, like people say, you know, she can play with the trick cards. And to that, my thought is just, okay, that's cool. That's cool, right? I think she's still she's very low for me. She's just, I don't think of her. Yeah, I played her with Ornate Bow, and she was still just bad. She was still just bad. Any other D tiers? Yeah, I think there's one other D tier. I think there's one other investigator I'm going to be putting in the D tier here. And I think that's going to be Skids O'Toole. I'm actually playing a campaign. Original Skids, not parallel Skids. Original core set Skids. I'm recording a campaign right now with another YouTuber that's going to hit the channel eventually. We're doing a run through the Dream Eaters where we're playing the parallel and the non-parallel version of the core set investigators, each through one half. And I'm playing parallel Skids because I wanted to, and core set Skids because I have to. And I think he is very weak. I think he's a very weak investigator, and I think he's D tier. And I don't want to talk about him because I don't like Skids. I just don't like him. And I'm playing him recently, so this opinion isn't even an old wound. I think he is very low tier. He's my least favorite investigator to play. Okay. I think we can start going through this list here. I think we can just start going through normally. And we can start kind of building... I mean, actually, no, what I think I need to do is I think I need to build my tiers. I need to get like a baseline investigator for each tier. Jim, I'm sorry. I love you more than the world itself, Jim, but you're a C tier investigator. You're not D tier because you turn a hard token into zeros. You're also a mystic, so you can run ward of protection. And you can build ward of protection without doing anything. I don't think you're D tier, but I do think you are C tier. Sorry, buddy, I love you. I love you, but I can't. Wendy Adams, I think, is an A+ investigator. Her ability is very good. Her card pool is very good. Her stat line is very good. She's just a good investigator. I think she's very good. She's an A+ tier investigator. She could kind of be teetering on S, but I don't think she's as busted as these four are. So she's like going to be like close to my top of A+ tier. Who's an A tier investigator? Probably Agnes Baker, actually. I think Agnes Baker is an A tier investigator. She has 5 in her relevant stat. And if you have 5 in your relevant stat, that's really good. Almost every class has their own ward of protection, though, at this point. Forewarned and Seeker, Test of Will, and Survivor. I forgot the name of it in Guardian, but attaches the Treachery and takes it to the victory display. Yeah, but none of those are as good as ward of protection. I mean, except for maybe Test of Will, right? But even then, with Survivor, you don't really care about the Mythos deck. Your whole thing as a Survivor is the fact that you draw a card. You say, I take 3 horror. Oh, I still have 1,000,000 horror left. So, like, I don't think it's that relevant as much as... I just think Ward of Protection is still better than all of those cards. Yeah, Agnes Baker's an A tier. She's good. Her ability is very relevant. Her ability is very spicy. I think she's a good A tier investigator. B tier investigator? B tier investigator. Father Mateo. Father Mateo is, if I had to pick one and be like, you're my B tier, Father Mateo is going to be leading my B tier. His stat line isn't great. His ability is good. Her ability is good. Sorry, his ability is good, sorry. But... And his Elder Sign is very good. But, like, he doesn't do anything. He just doesn't do anything. Right? He does more than Jim, but less than Agnes. So I think, like, he is B tier. Like, this is, like, just the perfect spot for him. Right there. Boom. B tier. So if we looked at it like this, S is broken. A+ is incredibly, incredibly strong. A is a strong investigator. B is a fine investigator. They'll need some work to get going. C are the investigators who I think need a lot of work to be good. And D tier investigators are investigators that I don't think are good and I don't like the idea of playing. And A are investigators I haven't played enough to comment on. Or seen enough to comment on. All right. Akachi. She's an A tier. She gets a bunch of charges on her stuff. She has 5 in book. I think she is slightly better than Agnes as well. More charges, I think. Is she better than Agnes? Is Akachi better than Agnes? No, I don't know. They're both very good. They both actually have a very similar stat line. She actually just gets +1 fist over her of Agnes's fist, so that's kind of funny. She has 1 more stat than Agnes, but I do think free damage is slightly better than extra charges. They're very, very, very close. But I do think free damage slightly better than an extra charge. Amanda Sharp. This is tough. I think Amanda Sharp is very strong. I think Amanda Sharp is hard. I think if you build Amanda Sharp in the correct way, she's bonkers. She's very, 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 very strong. If you don't build Amanda Sharp right, you're sitting here looking at a B-tier investigator being like, why do I have to work so hard to take a test, right? However, if you build her deck right, you're killing it. She's an A+. Do I think she's better than Wendy? Yes, I do, because she is my playstyle. So I will do better with Amanda Sharp all the time than I will than Wendy. She's not S tier, because I think she requires a lot of work to get going. And I think with the same card pool, I still think Rex and Mandy are better than Amanda. But Amanda is an easy A+ for me. I have a great time with her, and she can just do anything when you build it. But she is very important with how you build her. If you don't build her right, I think you need to have passive boosts for Amanda to really shine. You get your passive boosts out, and then of course she also falls apart depending on the weakness you get. Like I'm playing with Lyle on the channel. If he has an overzealous in his Amanda deck, that's a bad time. Ashcan Pete. A tier? I think he's an A tier investigator. He's very versatile. You can do a lot of broken things with him. I haven't played him in forever, so I need to see him again. But I think he's an A tier investigator. Getting a free move with your investigate each turn adds up like crazy. It just adds up. Also, his weakness is kind of like not really a problem. He also, I want to build an Ashcan Pete deck with Jacob Morrison and just get a lucky every turn. Seems like a good idea. Bob Jenkins. Okay, I'm watching Bryn play 2 Bob decks. Amanda's middle B on last year's list. We didn't have much experience with Amanda back then. I think at that point, Travis was the only one who played her. But yeah, she has improved a lot. She's actually now putting her into practice. She is bonkers. I think Bob... This is tough. I don't know much about Bob. My instinct says he should be bottom of A tier. I think that's where his power level sits him. I think he's very good and very fun. But I don't think he's going to do anything broken, right? I mean, apart from like buying Lily Chen a shotgun. But I think he sits at very bottom of A tier. Kelvin Wright. I've never played him. I think I can do really good with Kelvin. I think if I built a Kelvin deck, I'd probably do really well with it. But I think within my rating system, I think he's a C tier. You need a lot to get going with him. He needs to do a lot of other work to be there. I think he's going to be stronger than Jim. This is my not playing Kelvin rating. So like he in theory should be an A, but I think he's just top of C tier. I think he requires a lot to get going. Carolyn Fern. Carolyn Fern. I think she's A tier. I think she's good. I think Carolyn's a good investigator. I haven't played her, but seeing what Travis can do with her, her card pool is insane. I think she's an A tier investigator. I think I like her even more than Ashcan Pete, to be honest. I think I like her more than Ashcan. I like her more than Bob. She has 4 book. She has Secrets of Cards in her pool. That's good. That's good to me. Daisy Walker. I think Daisy's bottom of A+ tier. She has 5 book. She has 5 book, so you can't really put her that low, right? She has 5 book. When you have 5 book, you're really good. You're very good with 5 book. Yeah, and a great ability. I don't know what this intellect is you're talking about, Tasty Toast, but the weakness sucks. But it's not too bad. Honestly, I think if you draw the weakness, you just say, okay, I have 1 less hand, and I now have 2 auto fails in the bag. But the only action I'm really doing is investigating, so it's not really a life or death action. So, yeah, I think a bottom of A+ right now is where she belongs. I definitely think she's stronger than all these investigators. Daniela. Okay, I have limited knowledge on Daniela, but I do think she is going to be up in this tier once the dust settles. And I think she's stronger than Daisy because she has free actions. Free damage. Best stat line in the game? Yeah, yes. I don't think she's stronger than Wendy, and I don't think she's stronger than Amanda. This is me. How different is Daniela from Agnes? It's a great question. Free damage versus a book action. Survivor card pool. Never die. Never die. And I think she's just better. Oh, how's that? Oh, I see. You broke me. You did. How different is Daniela from Agnes? Oh, I think incredibly. Now can I actually look at this? Because the 5 fist and the weapons means that her damage output never runs out. So with Agnes, you need to take horror to deal damage. With Daniela, you need to get attack to deal damage, but you can cancel that. And your 5 fist and you're not needing to worry about spells is so much better than needing to worry about spells. By their very nature, Mystics likely will never break the A+ tier unless they have a broken ability like Jacqueline Fine, because Mystics are entirely fair. They're just good investigators, right? They need a broken ability like Jacqueline or Gloria, or as some would say, Diana, to really break into the A tier. Because the thing is, their card pool is just kind of like there, right? So now, like, for example, Agnes Baker with a Shriveling, she can kill 4 things, right? Daniela Reyes with any sort of weapon just kills, right? And the thing is, if, for example, Daniela does not draw her weapon, but Agnes does, but Agnes doesn't draw her spell, Daniela can actually do things, while Agnes is just kind of like, I had a bad mulligan, that sucks. That's my thought process on it. Yes, Tasty Toast says, Mystics rely on their card pool while others rely on their stats. Dexter Drake. But Survivor weapons. Yeah. Just go Sledgehammer. Boom. Or even her wrench. Her wrench is one of the strongest weapons in the game. Dexter Drake. Honestly, 5 brain, you can't really lose. You can't really lose. 5 brain is good. I don't think he's like incredibly powerful, but if you have 5 brain and you're a mystic, you can't be lower than A tier. That's just, I don't make the rules. I just follow them because that's just how it is. You'll notice that any investigator who has a 5 in a relevant stat, they're going to be good. Apologies to Footstat again, sorry. As for what he does, swapping out empty spells, his ability is really good. I played the Cyclopean Hammer Dexter Drake with Molly Maxwell, and it was a really good time. But I don't think, he's going to be my bottom of A tier probably, because he is kind of just here, right? He is kind of just here, but his 5 brain bumps him up to A tier. Because you don't need anything to get going. So, you look at Dexter, you get a Shriveling out. Level 0, you're attacking for 5 against a 3 attack enemy. You have Father Mateo, you're now attacking for 4 against, you have a 4 against a 3 health enemy. They each have a Holy Rosary. Now, Dexter's 6, Father Mateo's 5, right? Dexter should be A+ tier. Run Doomy Junk, toss him when Doom is close to advancing. I'll be honest, guys. I don't think the Doom stuff's that good, right? I just don't think the Doom stuff is that great. And he can't be B because he has 5 brain. Once again, if your stat is relevant and high and it's 5, you're going to be very strong. Diana Stanley. Diana Stanley. She's B tier for me. And I know people are going to be mad at me. And that's okay. The idea of having to put a bunch of junky cards in my deck to get to 6 brain isn't that exciting when I have all these other investigators that are just good. I will say, though, I think she's better than Father Mateo. I will say that. I think she is stronger than Father Mateo. But I don't think Diana is particularly strong. Especially when she is completely outclassed by Gloria Goldberg. Finn Edwards. Finn Edwards. Finn Edwards. His card pool sucks. His card pool frickin' sucks, man. It's a bad card pool. 1 brain, that's just life. His 4 foot and 4 book are really nice stats. 3 fist means he can also fight. I think he's A tier. Yeah, I think he's A tier. We all have 1 brain, what do you mean? I think he's A tier. I built, based on something Travis did, I built a Dark Horse Finn Edwards deck. Oh my god. And Finn Edwards, I'm sorry to just keep dunking on Rita, because that's just kind of what's going to happen here. But Finn Edwards has the ability that Rita Young wishes she had. Yeah, you can argue, Justin, you get a free action because you get to deal 1 damage or move, right? But no, I'm evading the enemy to probably grab the clues from my location. So I think Finn is just Finn's good. Finn's just really good. He's just really strong. He's a great investigator. His card pool is lacking, and he doesn't have the oomph to get him up here, I think. But I think he is, right now, for me, top of A tier. I was debating between top of A tier, bottom of A+, but I think he's just A. Gloria Goldberg. She's in the running to be another S tier investigator. Her stat line is incredible. Her stat line is absolutely killer. 5 brain, 4 book, blah, blah, right? Her ability is very, very, very powerful. Just being able to, like, control the Mythos deck is very nice. And give whoever you want to whoever you want. As soon as you get an Alyssa Graham in play, you don't need to worry about it. The only thing, as Tasty Toast just said here, is her ability isn't good without Alyssa, though. That is true. But when you don't have Alyssa, you still have 5 brain and 4 book. Which means you can still just progress the game, right? You can still, even if you don't have what you need, you can just, like if you don't have Alyssa, you can still just progress, right? And as you guys, if you watch the channel and you don't watch the gameplay, the most important thing to me in this game is progressing the objective. I don't care about doing fancy stuff. I don't care, sorry to dunk on Rita again, about evading an enemy, shooting them with my bow, kick-flipping off of them to another location, and then being like, all right, I kick-flipped off that enemy. I got my bow, right? I want to just kill an enemy, chunk, get a clue, go on my way. I don't want to do fancy stuff. The less stuff I need to get things going, the better. Skateboard card win. Can you stop with this Rita hate? It's making me too sad. We have a lot of investigators left, and there might still be more dunking on Rita. I'm sorry, Tasty Toast. You know what, Tasty Toast? Just for you, I'll say she's better than Skids. I'll say she's better than Skids. She just got an improvement. All right. Harvey Walters. A tier. He can't be lower than A tier. Great stat line. 4-5-1-2. It's very easy to build around his weakness. It's very easy to play around his weakness. Some of A tier belongs in B. Who do you think so, Phil Marlowe? I'm curious. Worst weakness in the game, second best stat line in the game. The thing is, though, his weakness is not that bad. It's possible to build around in a variety of ways, right? Not even to mention there's the fabled no-hand Harvey, which I'm very curious to try out to see how that goes. But Harvey Walters can't be lower than A tier because he has 5 in book, right? The thing is, going back to what I said, if you have 5 in a stat that's relevant, it's all you could ask for. It's all you can ask for. Jenny Barnes. She's a C tier investigator to me. I think she's the top of C tier. She's very boring. I don't like Jenny. She has the potential to be powerful, I think. But I don't think... I think you have to work a lot to get there, and I'd rather just, like, play a good investigator, if that makes sense. So you're strong with money hoarding decks? It's true. It's true. The only problem is I think there's someone that does that better. Will they ever make a 6-statted investigator, you think? I hope not. I really hope they don't. I just think as soon as they start making 6-stat investigators without like a huge downside, we got a problem. And I think Diana, like in theory, is a 6-stat investigator. And a lot of people have success with her. And like she has the idea of like having a massive drawback to that because it takes time to get there. And like otherwise her stat line's kind of poopy. But I think that I just hope they never do. I hope they never do. But they will eventually. They will for sure. It's design space they're going to want to explore. Joe Diamond. Tippy top of B tier? Tippy top of B tier. Parallel Rita will be 6666. Let's go. She'll be unstoppable. I like Joe Diamond. I think he is very fun to play. I think because I recently played him with the Patron Game Day, which we just finished up, but is not even close to being done by the time you're seeing this on the channel. I think he's very, very fun, but I think he has some huge weaknesses, and I do think his hunch deck is better than what it was this time last year, right? And Concuss, I agree completely. I love Joe, not consistent, but so much fun. He's very fun, but I think he's just not that great. I think he's top of B tier, and I'm happy with that placement of him. Leo Anderson. Leo Anderson. Top of C tier, bottom of B tier. I think B tier. I think bottom of B tier. Would Joe be better if he was a Guardian? Yes. I think so. Leo's just kind of boring. But I do think there are things that make him better now than he wasn't last year. Having experience with stuff like actually playing him with the hired cards, like the guys that you have to pay a resource for each turn. I think Leo is better than Diana or Mateo. Oh my god. Someone else that is not hot on Diana? That's crazy. I'll agree he's... Midnight Mask? You know what? You convince me. You convince me. I'll do it. I'll do it. Just like that. You just said it and you made me look at it and be like, yeah, I think so, actually. I think so. Stone Cold Stunfisk agrees? Alright. I'm down for it, too. I was like, thinking of him bouncing here and here, but... As I think about it, like, the Leo Anderson I played in the Call of the Plaguebearer campaign was a great time. I think he was strong. It took a lot to get him there. And I think that kind of fits in with these guys. So let's put him there. Lily Chen. Okay. I think Lily Chen, top of B tier. She has potential to be bottom of A tier. I just don't think she's that strong. How's the Blessed Mateo deck? I plan on running when I get around to Innsmouth. I actually haven't played the Blessed Mateo deck. I find the Blessed decks to be a little bit swingy, but I think when they get going, they can be really fun. She might be higher. She might be deserving to be in the A tier, but I just don't know right now. Because, honestly, the butterflies... Oh, I think so as well. I do think I want to try her with the butterfly swords, because seeing myself and Travis play her with the hammer, she's fine. It's fine. I think using the Fang of Taco, I think, is going to be a nice improvement. I do think, though, that she has one of the worst level 0 decks in the game. I do think that she is one of the worst level 0 decks in the game. And I think I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm gonna leave her a B tier for right now. She hasn't impressed me yet, and I want to be impressed. And I'm not there yet. So I'll say this right now. I think this Lily Chen could definitely change. But I think Lily Chen kind of falls into this jack of all trades, master of none build for me right now. But I can definitely see my opinion on her. Is she difficult to play? No, I don't think so. No, I think it's just the fact that she's just lacking that oomph that makes her busted, I think, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't have enough experience with Lily to truly feel confident about this placement, but this is what my heart of hearts are saying. So my heart of heart is saying, so that's where I'm going to leave her on B tier. I'm going to leave her on B tier for right now, and this can change. Luke Robinson. I think he's A tier. I played him recently in our Return to the Circle Undone, and I had a fantastic time. I loved it. It was a great time. His ability to cheat clues and cheat locations is pretty good. Yeah, and his movement alone is really strong. Luke's power does wax and wane depending on the scenario. Some scenarios his movement is clutch, sometimes it does nothing. Yeah, I'm happy with where he is there. I think he's there. I think he's stronger than Agnes and Akachi. He does need a bit of work to get going. And I think Finn is stronger than Luke. I do think that. Do you find Rex or Luke fun if they break the game so badly? I mean, I don't think Luke breaks the game in the way expect to be A+. Yeah, honestly, I think Travis is definitely going to put him high. He really likes Luke. I think Luke is really strong, but I don't think he is on par with any of these investigators in terms of strength. Especially now that there's so many more movement options, right? Like, there's a lot of things, like breaking the Hunter keyword with Luke is kind of cheeky and really powerful, right? I think he's very good. Honestly, both Finn and Luke are on the cusp of A+ tier for me, right? But he takes some work to get going, but his movement is very strong. Luke's pool is way better than Finn's? Yeah, I agree. But I think Finn is still stronger. I think Finn is stronger. I think being able to touch into some survivor cards is better than that, in my opinion. In the way I play and for how I rank them, that is how it is for me. I agree with what you're saying, though. I think his pool is better than Finn's. But I think his stat line is... The thing is, like, you're at this weird crossroads with Luke where you're like, how am I getting my clues, right? Do I have to do spells or do I have to do assets, right? And Finn, it just says, I do assets, take picture, me use magnifying glass, me use mariner compass, right? I think he gets going quicker than Luke does, for my rankings anyway. Marie Lambeau? Father Mateo. Father Mateo. Marie is a tough one, I agree. Extra actions are really nice. I agree with that as well. But also, I agree with what Dufustel's saying, too. I apologize if I keep saying your name wrong. I think I've said it differently each time. Not a lot of people don't play her. She's scary. She's scary, man. But she has 4 book and 4 brain. That's a pretty alright stat line. She has like a better version of Father Mateo's stat line. That 2 fists that Father Mateo has really suck. sucks. Baron Sandy is very gross. I do agree with that completely. Is she stronger than Father Mateo? Yes, I think she is. No, I don't think she is. Is she stronger than Jenny? Is she stronger than Jenny? Is she stronger than Jenny? Marie Lambeau's deck building is red. Can she also get yellow, or is it just Survivor? Is she red-yellow? Is she like Finn? I've never built a Marie deck. I've seen her played a few times. It's like Finn's, but instead of illicit, it's 5. She can't take Mystic 5, which is a shame. Red-yellow. Yeah, okay, in that case, she's stronger than Jenny. Sexy Mark Harrigan. Super sexy Mark Harrigan. Okay, we're going to compare him to, right now, we're just going to compare him to Daniela. Because they both have 5 fist. He has less brain, more book, more foot. So she actually has a total of 9, 10, 12. He has 10, he has 13, so he has one more stat line. Not having free damage sucks, right, printed on his card. However, having a bunch of sick-ass card draw, super sick. His stat line is also good because he has Sophie to take some damage for him. I think he is stronger than Daniela, but not as strong as Wendy. I think he is less strong than Daniela, and he's about on par with Daisy. These two can switch depending on the day. Survivor bias? Yeah, man. But the thing is, like, at a certain point, here's the thing. Okay, let's really strip this down. And I'm going to make an argument for why this is. When it comes down to it, Mark Harrigan is scared of dying, right? If he gets too hurt, Sophie is like, ah, blah, right? She yells at him and then everything gets worse. Daniela, she's scared of dying because dying means death. However, she can run Pete Sylvester and Jessica Hyde and literally never, ever, ever die. Sorry, chat, I just got to pause this recording. I went whole campaigns without ever flipping Sophie. I don't know what you mean about being scared of dying. No, it's true. It is very hard to flip Sophie. But the thing is, you're still worried about flipping Sophie, right? The only damage Mark takes is to pump his skills. Yeah, if things are going perfect, if you're in Magical Christmas land, right? If, like, nothing ever goes wrong, and things sometimes just go wrong. I think they're both very strong. I think they're both incredibly strong investigators. I think Daniela is just a little bit better than Mark, because free damage, I think, is better than one card. Yeah. Aren't we always in a Magical Christmas land? Nah, if we were, these guys would be A tier. No, but I mean, that's actually also a very fair point, too. Mark can take shortcut. That is also sick. His weapon pool is better, but if I'm looking at just, like, the goal of killing enemies, they're both kind of, like, right here. Daniela, tiny bit stronger for me. Tiny bit stronger for me. Minty Fan. I love Minty Fan. I love Min. I think she's really good in a skills play style. I think compared to these other investigators, she's just fine. Min is one of my favorite investigators in the game, but I don't think she is A tier. I think she's top of B tier, bottom of A tier. And that's how I feel about that. I think she's really good. I like Min a lot. But I just think her stat line is fine. Like, it's good. It's good. But I don't think it's A-tier worthy. And her ability is ultimately just okay. Right? Like, it gets better with multiple players, but it's really just like there, right? It's not anything too crazy. It's very good and very efficient, but it's not to the level of some of these. If she had a 5 in a stat, see you later, man. Get on up to the A tier. But I think she's just B tier. And this is someone who's played a lot of min decks. She's never like breaking anything or like cheating the game in a great way, apart from the Seeker ways, of course, and Survivor ways, of course. But like, so can all of these people too. Monterey Jack. Cheese man. Yeah, dang Harvey over Min, I know, eh? 5 book changes things. 5 books really does change things. Monterey Jack. I think he's an A+ investigator. I think he's incredibly strong. I think he's stronger than Daisy, stronger than Mark, stronger than Daniela, stronger than Wendy, stronger than Amanda, not stronger than Gloria. This is where I want Monterey Jack to be. Monterey is just a better Finn. It's true. It is very true. How is it going in the campaign? I'm not watching for spoilers. My Monterey Jack deck, crushing. He's crushing, man. Ain't even sweating. Live with no fear. Nothing scares me. Not even Mythos cards. I don't care. I'll never die. Yeah, he is strong. Great. 4 in a book, 5 in foot, when it's just actually like relevant in a way that's not relevant on Miss Rita. I'm sorry, over here. So the reason you might be asking, why? Why is the foot relevant for Monterey but not on Rita? Because Rita is probably here to kill things, right? So why am I going to evade something if I'm just going to kill it, right? With Monterey Jack, why am I going to evade something? Because I'm then going to walk away and then draw a card for walking away after I got the last clue on a location. Not to mention he has like yellow cards, which is just really powerful. Monterey Jack, one of the strongest new investigators. He's very, very strong. Very strong. Very boring, but very strong. Nathaniel Cho. God, okay. I got to talk about Nathaniel Cho for a second. Because he is boring. He is boring, man. But he's good. But he's very good. He has 5 in fist, which is the stat that matters. I think he's an A+ tier. I think so. He has a good stat line for himself. He's not better than Mark or Daniela because they offer things like Mark Harrigan has card advantage, Daniela has Survivor and her free damage. Yeah, I think he belongs bottom of A+ tier. He's just really good. He's very boring, though. Oh my God, is he ever boring. He's just a snooze. Norman Withers. Come on up to the tippity top, my friend. Come on up to A+ tier. You gotta join everyone else here. I think you're stronger than Monterey Jack. I think you're stronger than Gloria. Boring is good for new players, it's true. Norman Withers is disgusting. We're going to keep discovering ways to break the game with Norman Withers. Travis already found deduction every turn. Deduction every turn. New Norman got nerfed hard, though? I think he got stronger. Oh, just look at his art. Yes. Yeah, no, you're right. You are right about that. Yeah, with the Atlas. Yeah, deductions every turn. It was nuts. And as we learned with deductions every turn, very strong. Norman could easily, in the future, as the card pool goes, he can come up to S tier. I think he's very strong. His stat line is absolutely incredible. 4 brain, 5 book. Bonkers. Bonkers investigator. Yuck. Patrice. But Patrice Hathaway. Harvey has those stats too. He does. He does, but he only can play yellow cards. Patrice. Travis is apparently cracked her, and I think he's going to be a lot higher than Patrice than I am. I think Patrice is still kind of in this B tier. I think she's in B tier. Man, Astute Dunsparce, are we the same? I do think that in assuming I can get Travis and Bryn's recorded for this, you should check out Travis's review in 2 days on YouTube for the tier list, because I think he's going to have more insight for Patrice than I do. But right now, my insight on Patrice is very low. I think she is B tier, and I'm excited to try her out again and see if I can crack her, because she seems cool. She seems cool. Preston Fairmont. Are you guys ready for a controversial opinion? Are you guys ready for a controversial opinion? I don't think he's in the C tier anymore. I think he's up here in the B tier. I think he improved. I think Preston's actually getting better. I agree. He's very boring. Don't worry, YouTube. I'm not going to put him higher than Diana. I think I'm going to put him higher than Patrice, though. I'm going to put him higher than Father Mateo, too. No. He's not better than Father Mateo. Father Mateo has stats. He's not boring. He is interesting. I don't know. It's just make money and spend money. Some people do like that, though. It's not my play style, but some people do like that. Oh, him with Janae is going to be freaking nuts, isn't it? Oh, my God. He can just move stuff around the board and then work really hard to make a test. I think last year we had him down in C tier, and I think he is better than he was then. This is kind of wild. I'm putting him above Jenny. That's kind of wild, isn't it? That's going to get me in trouble, isn't it? Someone's going to yell at me about this. But it's just simple math. Just below Norman? That's wild. Most improved. Yeah, that's Stone Cold Stone. 4 money is greater than 2 money. Also, I mean, Preston takes advantage of those favor events that no one else can. And especially that new one, he now has a ward of protection. That's pretty sick. He gets 5 money? Oh my God. 5 bigger than 2. We've done it. Roland Banks. Oh, I'm so sorry, buddy. He's in the B tier. I think Roland Banks is just fine. I think he's just fine. I think he falls into that same thing that Min does, where he's just fine, right? There's nothing too crazy impressive about Roland Banks. His stat lines, you have to work for it. Like Min's, you have an ability that is very good and very relevant, but like, so do all these guys. I think Bob might be like, Bob is still one of the ones where I need to see. Oh yeah, and Roland Banks' weakness is very tough. Very tough to work around. Honestly, it's nice that the investigators from the core set are still fine, at least. Yeah, and some of them are also, like, as you can see, like, good. I think they've done very well at, there's no investigators that are just not relevant. They always get new things, and I think that's one of the best things about this game is that they're constantly just improving the areas of the game, right? Like, they're improving, they're, like, giving love to some investigators, right? Like, the favor, as I just talked about, that Preston can now use to get rid of Mythos cards, right? Like, other green investigators can do that, but that's especially nice with Preston. Safina Rousseau. I think she's an A tier. There's a lot of cool things she can do. She reminds me of Ashcan Pete, where like there's nothing like too crazy impressive, but she's just consistently very helpful and very relevant. Is she A tier? She might be B tier. She might be B tier. No, I think she's A tier. I don't know, man. It's tough. I haven't played much Safina. So, knowing where to put her is difficult for me. I think I'm happy with her here. I think I'm happy with her here. I think I'm even going to put Min ahead of her. I think that's where we're going to put her. Silas Marsh, baby, let's go! Yes. I think this is where I want to put Silas. I don't think he is a better monster killer than Mark or Daniela, but I think he can do other gross things in the game that make him better than them. Yeah, I have him lower than Amanda because the card that busts these two wide open is Unrelenting. Actually, I think Silas actually used Unrelenting better than Amanda. Now that I think about it, I think Unrelenting is stronger in Silas. I think there's definitely a case that Silas could even be up in S tier. Because, like, getting Innsmouth cards is kind of just cracked that egg wide open. But I think he is more, I think he is A+ tier. I personally don't think he's S. I can understand if people want to make a case for it. But to me, I think the S tier is pretty locked firmly in these four. I think so. Because these are investigators that break the game with little to no work. You have to work for Silas. You do. You have to work for Norman. You got to work for Gloria. You got to do very little work for Monterey Jack. But you do got to do some work. And with Silas... S can mean Silas tier, can mean sexy Mark tier. It's whatever you want. For me, it means super. But Silas Marsh is very strong, and I'm not going to be ignorant of that strength just because I want to pretend, oh no, look at me playing a B tier investigator and having a good time. Silas Marsh is very strong. Sister Mary. Bad news, everybody. She's going in the C tier. I don't think Sister Mary is good. Don't like her. Don't like playing around her. Don't like playing the bless mechanic. Think her stat line is kind of garbage. Well, bottom of C tier. Let's do it. Boom. Drop her. I think I'd rather... She can't be stronger than Jim. Sorry, Jim. I love you, brother, but I don't think Sister's stronger than Sister Mary. I don't think you are. I don't think you... Sorry, like, Jim, you really should be down here. But yeah, there's no way she's worse than Jim. I mean, Jim has a nice stat line compared to Sister Mary's. But I mean, just 2 free blesses. You don't even need to work for her ability. That's better than zeros on skulls, I think. Yep, that's where I want Sister Mary. Tommy Muldoon. Hey, Tommy, can I introduce you to this B tier? Would Jim be an A tier with 5 brain? Yes. Y'all are just traumatized from playing Jim early. I have played Jim a lot. I have played a lot of Jim. And he's just never impressive. I've played this dude a lot. I am excited to try him with Nkosi Mabadi, and I think that's going to improve him. I haven't done that yet. But right now, with the knowledge I have of the game, I was like, Jim with Olivia, with Olive. I'm like, that's so many skulls. I'm going to draw skulls out and skulls upon skulls upon skulls. And it just never happens. So like with Nkosi Mabadi, my theory for Jim is to work more with that you are just consistent as opposed to good. But that means best case scenario, Jim gets bumped up here when I try that, when I come visit this list next year in 2022. Tommy, you're fine. You're like here. But yeah, Jim would be A tier with 5 brain. Because that's the rule. If you have good stats, if you have 5 in your relevant stat, you can't be lower than A tier because no matter what, you're going to function. Tony Morgan. A+. Card's busted. Very close to being S tier. No, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm putting Tony in S tier. I think Tony is in S tier. He's in S tier, dude. Card's strong, card's broken. He's S tier. I'm gonna commit to it. Tony Morgan is an S tier character. Too strong. He's too strong, man. Tony is too strong. He is high B on last year's list. That is hilarious. That is so funny. But on that note, it also goes with what we always say on this channel, is that the best thing about playing card games like this is that you can always learn and improve your knowledge. What happened since last year? Dude, we freaking played him. We played him. High B. That's wild. That is so funny. Yeah, Tony's wild. Do I think he's better than Jacqueline? No. Jacqueline's ability is just always good. High B is super disrespectful. Well, this is the channel where we are super disrespectful. All right, Trish Scarborough. Better than Finn? A+ tier? No. Better than Finn, though. But I don't think she's A+ tier. I have a lot of fun playing Trish. I've played her twice now, I think. She's a great time. She's very fun. I thought you said deduction every turn was A+. Yeah, you got to work for this deduction. You don't just get it. You don't just get it like Mr. Rex Murphy does. Yeah, I'm happy with Trish here. I think she's just an A tier. Time could treat her, and she could go up to A+ tier next turn. But I think for next year. But I think right here, this year, after all I played with her, I think she's an A tier investigator. Still very strong. Ursula Downs. This one is really tough. Because I recently played an Ursula Downs deck that was very strong and kicked butt. But I don't know if that was because of Ursula Downs or because of the Pathfinder and Prophesia, or the Prophecy Profana and Genet, right? I don't know what actually was the reason for why I was so good. As for where she belongs, she's in A tier. She's in A tier. She's better than Ashcan Pete. She's better than Carolyn. She's better than these two, in my opinion. Is she better than Luke? She's better than Luke. She's better than Finn. Just on stat line alone. This could keep going all night, it's true. Is she better than Trish? She's better than Trish. Is she better than Nathaniel Cho? Is she better than Nathaniel Cho? Ursula's pool is shafted. I mean, I don't care. I'm going to get Genet Beauregard. I'm going to get the Prophesy Profana. I'm going to get and then I'm just going to like have 6/6. Like, I'm just going to get it and I'm going to like kill it. I'm going to just be like, boom, boom, boom. And then honestly, a free action every turn is really nice. Yeah, I like her there. I don't think she's better than Nathaniel Cho. She doesn't have a 5 in her stats. Yeah, the thing is, they both have, like, the card pool. Yeah, I know. The card pool that Trish has is very nice. However, Trish can't play Prophesia. She can't play the Profana. That card's busted. And it's like everything Ursula wants. But that's really good with Trish. If she could play it, oh my god. Could you imagine if Trish could play the Profana? Oh my god. Oh my god, that would be incredible. Oh my god. Yeah, Trish, you win. You win this one. I thought about it a bit more. Trish's weakness can be handled pretty easily. Her weakness can be pretty annoying. Will Yorick. I like Will Yorick a lot. I think Will Yorick is up here. I think Will Yorick, I want to put him in A+. I think I do. I think Will Yorick is very strong. I think Will Yorick will never die. I think Will Yorick is stronger than Nathaniel Cho as a fighter. I think he's right there. I don't think he's stronger than Mark. I think he is infinitely more fun than Mark. Is this a general tier list? No, this is a power tier list. This is the 100% Justin's opinion tier list. Yeah, I like Will Yorick here. He's not better than Mark for fighting because he doesn't have to work for it like Mark does. But I think what he can do is better than what Nathaniel Cho can do. And Will Yorick is the true king of never dies. He never dies. You cannot kill him. All right, who's next? Winifred. I haven't played Winifred, so she is going to be my only person in the not available. I have not seen her be played. I've played her once for a one shot. So unfortunately, she is going to be my only investigator who I'm going to put in the not available section because I do not know enough about her to comment on her. If I had to wager, she'd probably be somewhere in the B tier because her card pool is green. I feel like you would love Winnie. I love her. She is skill-based. Well, she's not skill-based, but she can be skill-based. I'm running non-recursion combat-focused Will at the moment. Yeah, I fear nothing. Yeah, like Will is like, to me, like the epitome of the survivor that just isn't scared of anything. He's very good. Next patron deck game day, I'll make you a deck. Sick. I actually want to do a campaign with her too, because I feel like you get the most out of a campaign. But I do want to try her out. But I have to put her in not available because I just don't know. Not applicable. Zoe Samaras, our last before we get to the parallel investigators. I like Zoe. I think Zoe is good. The question is, how good is she? She's not A tier. Probably. She represents free damage, but you need to get things going. Yeah, free damage, but you need to get things going. Great economy. Great economy. We can move Joe down. I think I put her like here-ish. I do think she's better than Roland. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think we put Lily there. I think we do this. I think we put her there in the B tier. She's good. I really like playing Zoe. I really like her. But she's... to be honest, the Dunwich card pool sometimes is really good and sometimes isn't that good. And I think this is one of the cases where the Dunwich card pool for her is kind of... she's like, oh boy, I'm Nathaniel Cho with only 4 fists. Do you think Cyclopean Hammer is going to get tabooed? That card is crazy good. I think the player base is going to taboo Cyclopean Hammer themselves because they're going to get freaking bored of it. Just because, like, it's boring, right? Like, it's very strong and very cool, but then you play with it and you're just killing things, and you're like, oh, I don't get to whack anything away. And then the big things you can whack away are all elite. So I think over time, the community is just going to, like, play the Cyclopean Hammer less because they're going to be like, I want to try something else. That's my thought. I'm already like, I love Cyclopean Hammer. It's really cool, but I'm already starting to get bored of it. Okay, the parallel investigators. Agnes Baker. Let's start by putting them next to their core investigator. Very different builds here. So Agnes Baker, you can take damage when you cast a spell to reduce its cost and shuffle it into your deck, I believe. I believe that's what it does. I'm honestly quite impressed with Parallel Agnes. I think it's very cool. Do I think it's that much better? Does she still have 5 brain? Does she still have 5 brain? Reduce the cost by 2 and shuffle it into your deck. Yeah, same stat line. All right, I think that is better than Agnes Baker's original ability. And just because like playing an infinite amount of Read the Signs and Spectral Razor is very impressive. I think they are very close, though. I think I'm honestly going to just leave them side by side. I think they are about equal with power because they're different sides of the same kind of like thing. She can no longer take survivor cards. Yeah, I think her pool is better and her ability is better. But I think like they're like the same. I think this is like the best parallel design because they're so close and so cool. I think I haven't played Parallel Daisy. I have no interest in playing Parallel Daisy. And I think chat may have more intel than me on this. But I think I'm going to put her at the bottom. I think she's worse than Lola. I think she's not good. And I have no interest in playing her. Because she seems like everything I don't like about Diana. And then you have an ability you can only use once, and it's like not even that impressive. This one reasonably could be here, but I'm interested in playing Winifred. I think she sounds cool. But I'm going to be putting her down here. Does she have 5 book? She has 5 book? Oh shit, A tier. Let's go. But she has 1 brain, right? Dang, she has a 5 in book, huh? Can't argue with that. 1 brain, but her ability is blank, essentially. And she gets more brain the number of tomes you control. I'll put her in bottom of B tier. And +1 will and sanity for each tome. What's her starting sanity? Because her starting sanity might change things. 7? Okay. Starting damage, is it still 5? She's a 5/7. 5 book is really hard to argue with, though. But the problem is, Harvey Walters, relevant ability, and he has good brain. Daisy Walker, I'm going to put her in C tier. Even 5 book, I don't think makes up for the fact that her ability is garbage. I won't put her in D tier. No, this is what my heart says. This is what my heart says. She's going back to the bottom of D tier. The whirlwind keeps rolling. It keeps blowing. It's still coming through. Stone Cold Stunfisk, we're not done. We ain't done. This is where she's sitting. That's where she is. She better than... She has 5 book. Let's put her there. I'm gonna give this one to you guys, chat. I do think that Rita Young is better than Daisy Walker. Sorry, these two. Parallel Roland. Haven't played him. He seems cool. I think I'm going to put him up in A tier. Elder Sign effect is tome recursion though, and that is very strong. I look at Elder Sign ability as gravy as opposed to something that like I use to scale the power level of a character. And that's particularly why Father Mateo is where he is because he's just there. I think Parallel Roland is more exciting than Core Roland. Is he better? I don't know. This guy I'm actually going to put in NA. I don't know enough about Parallel Roland to comment. Realistically, Daisy Walker should be here, but I just have no interest in ever playing her, so I'm just going to cover my ears and say, yes, D tier, ba 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 ba. But I haven't played enough about, I don't know enough about Roland to really have a spot for him on my tier list. Parallel Skids. I love me Parallel Skids, man. I love me some Parallel Skids. Where do we put Parallel Skids? I really like them. I really like Parallel Skids. Definitely most improved? Hell yeah. Adam Ravendark, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the goddamn table. It's a pleasure to have you. This one's tough. I think I'm not going to put him in A+ tier. I think he's living in A tier. And I think he's just slightly worse than Trish. That's where I want to. That's where I feel like it is. I love Parallel Skids though. I think he's really fun to play. But he's still just a little skiddy. Still just Skids O'Toole. And you have to, where Underworld support is so great for him. It's true. It's true. It is. I'm playing an Underworld support Skids deck right now, and it's very fun. But he still just doesn't do much. He still just doesn't do much. All of these people up here, I think, advance the game state better than he can. I think Trish Scarborough can advance the game state better than he can. Skids O'Toole is going to draw a token that spawns Doom on locations because he wants to gamble each turn, because it's the right thing to do. You gotta. That is the way Rogue Way, though, they do their own thing. They do, but some of them do it while also just breaking the game wide open. I mean, I think he's very good still. Okay, that's it. So, going to my tier at the bottom, let's see if I have any changes I want to make. I mean, there's a lot of great investigators in this game. The majority of them are B and up. Actually, like a huge chunk of them are A and up. There's a lot of great investigators in Arkham Horror, the card game, which is super sick. So, just seeing if there's any changes I want to make. No, I think this is good. I think this is my tier list for 2021. I can't wait to do this again in 2022, assuming I'm still alive then. And also see what new investigators are in there. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, I like it. I like this tier list. Of course, I'll state again, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is my tier list. And yours is probably different. And that's totally sick. Oh, 2022, the Charlie Kane edition? I hope so. Here's hoping. If you have any comments you want to add about what you would do differently, where you'd put other people, please let me know. I will say right now, you guys can try to convince me about Diana. It's not going to work. So don't even bother. I'm happy with where she is right now. I have to try her again. I'm going to try her on my own accord. But if you're trying to convince me that Diana is in the wrong place, I'm a stone wall. I know, this game has really good lifespan. And like, Edge of the Earth is a really good campaign, and I'm excited to see where they go next, and I'm excited to see what more they add. I can't wait for Charlie Kane to be bad. Me too. I cannot wait for that. What Arkham Files investigator not yet in the game do you want to see next? I do think Diana is A, but I respect your opinion based on your criteria. Yeah, I think that's... honestly, she could be A as well, even if I have a bit more time with her. But just where she is right now, that's how she fits for me. The two investigators I want to see the most are Charlie Kane and Daryl Simmons, just because I think Daryl Simmons is going to be our survivor seeker. I hope so. I hope so. Did you already do your custom campaign order? No, I need to play more custom campaigns. I like to give a campaign at least 2 playthroughs before I start like trying to critique it, because sometimes bad luck can really skew a scenario into a place. And also I think a blind playthrough is not the best way to judge the quality of a campaign. It's looking to be that way for Daryl. I hope so. Ready for the Seeker 5 Rogue 2 to come and break the game? I hope they never do it. Honestly, they should just stop printing Seeker cards. They should just stop. But I'm honestly very eager to see who the announced new investigators are. And then I'm excited to see if they start making new ones, because I hope they do. I do. Thanks for watching, everybody on YouTube. As I said, it's my hope for Travis and Bryn to have their own tier list that are going to be coming out in the next few days, so you can see our differing opinions as we go through this, and also it's sort of like our hopeful Christmas present to all of you guys. If you're a patron of the channel, I want to say thank you for being awesome. Have a good one. I love you, and as always, Merry Christmas and GG's.